I feel like people who are warning about the dangers of wokeism and those who warn about the apocalypse of climate change walk a similar path. Has anti-woke already fallen into the trap of sounding too hyperbolic to be honest? Well, the question seems to assume that we will be on board with the idea that climate change could be apocalyptic as hyperbole, which we aren't. We don't agree with. The fact that we question some of the models that have been generated, that the conclusions of which are part of what the evidence is for there being a possible climate change apocalypse on the horizon, does not mean that we can't also point to a considerable amount of evidence suggesting that we've got a real problem and that there is really no excuse for not fixing that problem quickly.
And in fact, I'm proud of what we've done on DarkHorse, talking about the evidence that there is something very serious and novel going on, including Yamal craters, including glacial retreat, and the plumes of CO2 being released. We've also talked about the fascinating and possibly very positive sign that there may be a negative feedback that retards the release of methane from the Arctic as a result of sea level rise, creating greater pressure that holds the clathrates stably. And, so yes, there is hyperbolic stuff in the climate stuff. And the more model-based it is, the greater the number of bodies that can be buried. On the other hand, there's stuff you can check yourself. And the fact is, I think all of us who have lived, in places for long enough to monitor the trends know that something is changing now. Do things change without human beings? They do, but it's changing in a predicted direction. It is concordant with a reduction in glaciers, etc. Now,
the changes are speeding up.
Yeah, the changes are speeding up. On the other hand, Kilimanjaro should be free of glaciers by now, and it isn't, right? So this gives you an ability to calibrate. What you really need to be careful of, though, is that the positive feedbacks can take you from one place to someplace way down the road very, very quickly. And so, really, I have my eye very closely on the danger of a positive feedback with respect to methane release from the Arctic. That is where this is going to get away from us right quick.
Where we have no known breaks, no possible.
No, this will take it completely out of human control. And so, anyway, I'm not looking forward to an "I told you so" on that front. We need to stay far short of that, which means we need to, do all kinds of things. I've advocated for us, going full speed ahead to get fusion power, because fusion power is the one technology that would actually allow us to reverse global warming, not just halt it, but reverse the process. So, if you get nothing else from this, I would argue that is a nuanced, I think, balanced presentation of the various things that belong in that analysis. And you are right. When one enters climate change circles, you very often get only, you get confirmation bias across the entire landscape, and that's not reasonable.
In a very anti-scientific conversational tone.
Right. And it is certain to be true that to the extent that there will be data that goes both ways, and there will of course be data that goes both ways, that the field is inhospitable to the data that goes against its central conclusion.
You won't find it published.
Right.
Even if there are, and there surely are, many, many, many good and honest scientists who find things that they didn't expect and doesn't match their understanding of the universe. Even if they are trying to get those things published, it's probably harder and harder to do so.
Right.
Yeah.
So in any case, there's a nuanced way to do this. The field is not being good about it. That is dangerous in and of itself. The parallel between climate and wokeism, I'm leery of, but I would say, we've said from the beginning, there's an element of truth, right? That, for example, what we said a few minutes ago about that there is a lot of stuff downstream of slavery and Jim Crow that has impacts today. That's not the same thing as saying racism is rampant today, right? It's saying the consequences of past racism are still with us, which is a very different conversation. So yes, nuance in all things where nuance is reasonable.
Yep.